They look like a team, folks. They look like a team. That's right, the Lions have produced their best performance this tour to smash the AUNZ Combined 15 by 84 points to zip. Hello amateurs, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be here with you throughout the Lions series and beyond, so hit subscribe to follow along. Now, this was a great performance by the Lions. Really consistent and thorough. However, the opposition, whilst on paper there's a lot of very good players there, they've got real experience, lots of test players, some very good ones as well in this side. It is very difficult to generate the kind of effort and teamship that you need to compete at this level in such a short space of time. Now, I'm not saying they didn't try. They absolutely did try in every facet of the game, I'm certain, but there's something about a collective that you build with a team that just gives you that little bit more. And I thought you saw that in the Lions today, and you didn't quite see it in the AUNZ team, who, battled away, no lack of effort. There was quite a few errors early on by them as well, but the Lions absolutely put them to the sword. This was a wonderful performance. And coming into this game, I talked about the need for a big performance from these Lions in what is the last game before the tests, effectively the midweek 15 as we would know them from previous tours. For the individuals involved, and especially for tour momentum as well, everybody in that Lions squad, whether they play today or not, is going to be standing an inch or two taller after seeing that performance. And that lifts everybody. It raises expectations for the test series. It does all of that. And it means for all the individuals that played today, and they all played well, I don't think anybody had even an average game. I thought they were all played really well. They now are in a position to either get selected next week for the first test, or there will be injuries throughout this test series. It is inevitable, and they are going to be in the best place in themselves as much as anything, because they'll have confidence off the back of that performance to go and claim a test shirt if and when it becomes available. So this was magic for the Lions. This was very much needed, and I'm just delighted to see how they got it. And it was really based off the nuts and bolts. They sorted out their ruck. Their ruck was so secure today. People getting involved really early, like before the tackle players hitting the ground. Ben Earl early doors did a really great one where he almost latched on before, I can't remember who it was, went to ground. And I think there's only once. So with my coaching hat on, if I see somebody going into contact and they haven't got enough support around them, my coaching hat just says support, and I shout it at the TV basically. I think I only did that once today, whereas previous games it felt like I was shouting support all the time. So the Lions have sorted that out, and I think that came off the back of just playing a little bit more of a pragmatic game plan. I think we're seeing now how they're going to play in the test matches. I really do. I think they've been practicing their shape and their handling and their running rugby in these opening games to get themselves reps in live situations, and I think we're now getting into the nuts and bolts. We're now seeing what they're going to be doing, and I think the players look so much more comfortable playing this style, a style that most of them are very used to for their clubs and countries. The kick chase game was good. The Lions aerial game was much better today. They kicked for field position, and if they weren't getting any kind of sort of momentum within a phase or two, certainly in the middle third, then they'll be looking for position through excellent kicking from Ben White and Finn Smith. So I think everything just came off the back of that, and just of course another week together, another bit of extra training, another week working on these things, and they look great. And while I talk about Ben White's kicking, he had a great game today, and again, that came off the back of really good quick ball. The forwards carried hard, they ran straight, all the classic things that rugby teams need to do. The Lions did it today. They broke tackles, which made rucks easier to win as well. Let's not forget that. If you're going forward, if you're charging, and you do have support, then some of these rucks can be lightning fast, and Ben White benefited with that and used the ball wonderfully, keeping the Lions moving forward at all times. And then behind that, the attacking shape looked really fluid and well timed. It has done at times throughout this tour. There's been periods where you go, oh yeah, that's it, but it's not been consistent. I thought it looked consistently good all day today, and when you've got somebody like Hugh Jones with his pace and his ability to see a mismatch, then it is going to bring rewards, because Hugh Jones had a really strong game again today. And I'm going to mention something at the end there which is going to be really important in terms of that. So it's great to see Hugh Jones being completely on form. Duan van der Merwe on the wing walked in a hat-trick, pretty much. I don't think he had the best game today, even though he scored a hat-trick. Some of his carrying he didn't look quite as dynamic as he normally did. I thought sometimes he got whacked by some people, and you rarely see that. But he got his hat-trick. Obviously looks vulnerable as well when the ball's put in behind him all the time. He actually kicked a ball today, which you rarely see as well. So that was a new one for him. And then also tries from Ben White, and this was an example of a really good clear. So they got good front foot ball, a rapid clear, and then there was just a hole by the side of the ruck, which White went through to score into the post. Tuipulotu got a try from a quick tap penalty move. Scott Cummings off the bench got one as well. And again, another example of somebody just running onto the ball really hard and straight, almost cutting back at the defensive line a little bit to get weak shoulders and get himself over. He had a lovely little cameo off the bench. And I've got to say, based off of all that structure, based off of all that nuts and bolts and consistency and all that kind of stuff, then the Lions had just a sprinkling of quick thinking. They had a sprinkling of magic, and it looks so much better when that's sprinkled on top of a really firm foundation. So I am thinking of one of the Duan van der Merwe tries when Hugo Keenan and Ben White linked off a quick line out. Really smart thinking. They saw the opportunity, and I can't remember which one it was. One of Duan's tries in the first half, and there was another one as well for Kelleher when he threw to Schumann at the front. He got it back to Kelleher, and he drove over in the corner from a line out. Again, really smart thinking, just playing what they're seeing. Where's the opportunity? How can we get in and do that? And the Lions did that great today as well. The bench all came on and did well, including number 23, Mr. Owen Farrell. And for all those who are worried about form and fitness, I have to say, I'm going to go back to what I said at the top. This was a team that they were playing against which weren't all that connected. Good players, trying hard, but they weren't all that connected, and the game was done by the time Farrell got on. However, he looked sharp. He did all the basic things really perfectly. Link play, put people into space. His range of passing was amazing. And the kick to the corner, which led to the Pollock try, was just perfect execution. I immediately, when he kicked it, I thought maybe they could have kept that in hands. It looked like a 3-on-2 on the outside. But if you watch it again, those two players were Ben White, who had taken his place on the right wing, because Keenan had gone off and Matt Hansen had gone back to fullback. So White was on the wing and it was Pollock outside him, and they both looked fatigued, to be honest. So the fact that Farrell took that, and I'm sure he got all this information, he realised what was going on, put it in behind the AUNZ team, who also were very fatigued, by the way. You must remember that. They messed up. Pollock got through to dab down for his first Lions try. And it's just that kind of thing, that clear thinking in the final throes of a game, that I think is going to be really important for the Lions. He will, I'm certain, play a part in this test series. It just depends when. Although, interestingly, he came on at the same time as Marcus Smith, who played 10, Farrell played 12, and they pushed Tuipulotu to 13. And Marcus was doing the goal kicking. So I found that intriguing, because if you want that clutch goal kicking from Owen Farrell to come on and use that in the test matches, then why wasn't he kicking today? He wasn't kicking a lot for his club this year because of some kind of injury. He could play, but he couldn't goal kick. So I'm wondering what the situation is there, or whether they're just sort of holding him back and letting Marcus take the kicks at the moment. I don't know. I just found that one interesting. Anyway, the Lions were also delighted with the fact that they held the AUNZ team to 0. That rarely happens in rugby games anymore, and the Lions defended really well at periods of time today, so good for them. A couple of bad bits of news though. Luke Cowan-Dickey got stretchered off. He had a nasty whack to the head by Lukan Salakai Lotto's knee, who, by the way, was probably the AUNZ team's best player today. He's a massive lump in the second row, carries really hard, bumped Jack Morgan out of the way at one point, although Jack Morgan did have a very fine game again today, putting pressure on that 7 jersey for the test matches for sure. But Cowan-Dickey looked like he got knocked out, got stretchered off. Thankfully, he was up and about, smiling and hugging people after the game, so no long-term damage, nothing super serious, but I'd imagine there's going to be issues there, which means that Jamie George has been plucked from the England 15 that was due to play Argentina this evening, and is now either currently or very soon will be on his way to Australia for his third Lions tour. I'm a huge fan of Jamie George. Very unlucky. Not unlucky, but he was good enough to be picked in the opening squad. So it's great for him that he's going to get an opportunity to become a third-time Lion. The other bit of news is that Gary Ringrose has failed a HIA. So that means he's out of the first test. This whole centre conundrum that's been going on and who's going to be picked, it looked like, as well as Hugh Jones has been playing attacking-wise, I think it was looking in my mind anyway that Gary Ringrose was probably just ahead of him because of his all-round game and his defensive steel. But it's that defensive steel, he's probably done it to himself, to be honest, with some of those big tackles in recent games. So he's out of the first test, which means it's highly likely that Hugh Jones will be wearing the 13 jersey. And if they want this connection, then it's highly likely, I would say, that Tuipulotu will be playing alongside him. Could all change going forward, though, in the second and third test, but I think it's very likely the Scottish pair will be used in that first test next week. Alrighty, that was a great run out for the Lions. Super impressed with what they did today. Brilliant for the midweek 15. The possibles to put in a performance like that. So I'm really happy. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Any players that I didn't mention that you think had a really important role in this game, maybe that were, not favourites for a test spot, but they might have put their hand up and claim one either next week or the week after. As I say, let me know in the comments down below and I'll join you there for a friendly conversation. Give this video a thumbs up while you're down there. If you don't mind, it helps other people find it, and you can subscribe there. You can watch that one next, and don't forget to get out and play.